Let me tell you something. There's power in the silence. There's strength in solitude. And there's a kind of peace. The kind that can't be bought, can't be begged for, can't be found in someone else's arms. It lives inside you. So today, we're not talking about loneliness. We're talking about the art, the victory, the power of being happy, alone. You want to know how to be happy alone? Then listen carefully. Because I'm not here to whisper. I'm here to wake something up inside you. Being alone ain't a punishment. It's not a sign of weakness. It's an invitation. An invitation to meet the most important person you'll ever know in this lifetime. See, too many people are chasing crowds, chasing likes, chasing love from people who don't even love themselves. They run from silence because they're scared of what they'll hear. But let me tell you something. Being alone is where your real voice gets loud. That's where your purpose echoes back. You want to be happy alone? Then stop waiting for someone to come fix you. Stop thinking someone's going to ride in and make you whole. You're not half of anything. You're already whole. You were just never taught to see it. Learn to date your own soul. Learn to enjoy your own company. Sit at a table for one, and don't call it lonely. Call it luxury. Because when you can laugh by yourself, dance in your room, like the world's your stage, wake up with fire, and go to bed in peace, that's when you've won. Happiness doesn't come from being surrounded. It comes from being centered. So walk alone, not because nobody wanted to walk with you, but because you chose the path that was right for you. And trust me, when you know how to be happy by yourself, that's when the right ones show up. Not out of need, but out of alignment. You ever look in the mirror and wonder who you really are, without the noise, without the validation, the applause, the titles, the followers? I'm talking about when it's just you and your reflection. That's where it starts. That's where the truth lives. And if you can't be happy in that moment, alone, then you'll never truly be happy in any other moment, no matter who's standing beside you. See, people got this idea twisted. They think being alone means you're broken, that something must be missing, that you're incomplete. Nah, being alone isn't a punishment. It's a privilege. It's not what you run from. It's what you run to. You want to know yourself? You want to find your calling? You want to hear that quiet voice deep down that tells you where you're supposed to go in this life? Then learn to sit in the silence. Learn to be alone, not just comfortably, but powerfully. Because solitude, that's where growth begins. Let me tell you something. Everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to shine. But nobody wants to sit in the dark long enough to develop. You know when film gets developed? In the dark. That's where the magic happens. That's where you figure out what you're made of. The world is loud, full of noise, full of people telling you who you should be, what you should look like, how you should act. But when you're alone, when the noise dies down, you get to hear something rare. You get to hear you. Don't confuse being alone with being lonely. They're not the same. Being lonely is the ache of needing someone to fill a void. But being alone, that's a choice. That's a season where you say, let me check in with my soul. Let me rebuild. Let me level up. It's not about pushing people away. It's about pulling yourself in. Because if you don't love your own company, how can you expect anyone else to? You ever watch someone walk into a room, shoulders back, peace in their eyes, not a crowd behind them, but they shine like they're lit from the inside? That's someone who knows the power of solitude. That's someone who's been alone and didn't waste it. They used it. Turned the quiet into a workshop. Turned the pain into poetry. Turned the stillness into strength. See, when you're alone, you don't have to answer to anyone. That's freedom. You get to figure out what you like, what you want, what you believe. You don't have to shape shift for acceptance. You don't have to perform. You just are. And in that space, that sacred, silent space, you start to rebuild yourself from the inside out. No distractions, no expectations, just raw, real growth. And let's talk about something real for a second. People who can't be alone often end up in situations that don't serve them. Toxic relationships, bad company, empty friendships. Why? Because they're afraid to sit with themselves. But the truth is, until you face your own shadow, your own wounds, your own habits, you'll keep repeating cycles that leave you drained. You've got to be brave enough to be with you, even when it's uncomfortable. Because in that discomfort, that's where the breakthrough is. You want to be truly happy? You want peace that can't be shaken by who leaves or who stays? Then start here. Wake up in the morning, sit in silence, breathe deep, and ask yourself, what do I need today? Not what the world expects, not what your family wants, not what your past told you you deserve, you. And then listen, really listen. That voice inside of you has been whispering truths for years, just waiting for you to get quiet enough to hear it. When you start to enjoy your own company, when you can take yourself out to dinner, go for a walk alone, celebrate your wins solo, that's when the game changes, because your happiness stops being a hostage. It's no longer in somebody else's pocket, it's in your hands. And don't think for a second that being alone means you have to dim your light. No, being alone is when you charge it, you power up, you train, you prepare, because the world's gonna come knocking. Opportunities, relationships, challenges, they'll all show up, and when they do, you'll be ready, not desperate, not drained, but rooted, grounded, happy. The most dangerous person in the room is the one who knows who they are when no one's watching, the one who doesn't flinch when they're by themselves, because that person has clarity, that person has peace, that person can't be manipulated with flattery or fear. That's what solitude gives you. That's what being alone, really alone, can teach you. So if you're in that season right now, maybe you just walked away from something, maybe life got quiet on you, maybe you're sitting in your apartment wondering what comes next. Don't run from it. Lean into it. Use it. This is your training ground. This is where you build the muscles no one can see. Emotional muscles, spiritual strength, inner peace. Talk to yourself like someone you love. Dance in your kitchen like the music's for you. Read books that stir your soul. Write down dreams you forgot you had. Reconnect with your inner child. Laugh out loud. Cry if you need to. Just feel it all. Don't numb it. Don't rush it. Let it shape you. Because once you've learned how to be happy alone, you become unshakable. No one can take that from you. And when you finally do meet someone, when new people walk into your life, you won't be needing them to fill a gap. You'll be choosing them from a place of strength, not scarcity. So remember this. You are not alone because something is wrong with you. You are alone because something right is happening within you. Let it happen. Let it mold you. Let it prepare you. And when you come out of that season, you'll be untouchable. You'll be unstoppable. You'll be happy. Not because of who came or who stayed or who left, but because you became who you were always meant to be. You are already whole. You hear me? Whole. Not a half. Not a fraction. Not a puzzle piece, waiting on someone else to come fit in and make you complete. That's a lie too many people believe. And it keeps them chasing ghosts, breaking their own hearts, handing out pieces of themselves like they don't matter. But I'm here to tell you, you were born with everything you need already inside you, before the heartbreaks, before the disappointments, before the world tried to convince you that you weren't enough. You were enough. You still are. But life has a way of piling things on top of you. Expectations, labels, pain. Maybe someone left and made you think it was because you weren't worth staying for. Maybe someone told you you'd never be loved unless you changed, unless you shrunk yourself down. Maybe you watched others get praised while you stayed unseen. And slowly, you started to believe it. Started to think that love, peace, happiness, all of that had to come from out there. But what if I told you, it's already in here? What if you stopped looking for someone to complete you, and started remembering who you were before the world made you forget? Because that version of you, that real one, that's the one who doesn't need a relationship to feel valuable, doesn't need constant praise to know their worth. That version, they walk into a room and carry their peace with them, not in a bag, not in their pocket, but in their bones. It's funny though. People say, I just need someone to make me feel loved. Nah, you need to learn to love yourself so deeply that anyone who enters your life has to match that love, not replace it. You feel me? If you don't love yourself, if you don't see your own worth, you'll settle. Settle for friendships that drain you. Settle for lovers that confuse pain with passion. Settle for jobs that pay your bills, but starve your soul. But when you know you're already whole, you don't beg. You choose. Let me make this clear. You don't need to be in a relationship to feel like you matter. Society's got folks thinking if you're single, something's wrong, that you're broken, that your life's on pause till someone better comes along. But you ain't waiting on anybody. You're not some character in a love story sitting around for a hero. You are the story. You are the author, the main character, the whole damn plot. And guess what? Being single, being alone, that's not a weakness. That's a season of power, if you let it be. It's where you learn what makes you happy without needing someone else to supply it. It's where you find joy in your own presence. You learn to laugh at your own jokes. Take yourself on a walk and notice things you'd miss if you were always looking for someone else to share them with. You learn that silence isn't scary. It's sacred. That your own company isn't boring. It's brilliant. You want to know what freedom feels like. It's walking into a room with your head high, not looking for anyone's approval. It's looking in the mirror and liking what you see. Not because of how you look, but because you recognize the strength behind your eyes. You know what it took to get here. You know the nights you cried and still got up. You know the times you doubted yourself and still kept moving. That's the kind of love that lasts. That's the kind of love that can't be shaken. You see, when you stop needing people to fill you, that's when you start attracting people who add to you. People who respect your boundaries, who love your solitude instead of being threatened by it, who see your strength and don't try to dim it. But you only get there when you stop searching for someone to fix you and realize you were never broken. It's time to stop outsourcing your happiness. Stop giving other people the keys to your peace. Take it back. Own it. Because when you know you're already whole, you stop apologizing for being too much. You stop pretending to be less so someone else can feel more. You stop chasing people who walk away and start trusting that anyone who leaves is just making space for what's real. You're not here to complete anybody either. You're not a project manager for someone else's healing. You can love people, sure. You can support them, but you can't save someone who won't even try to swim. That's not your job. Your job is to stay rooted, to keep growing, to show up for yourself in the way you wish others had. And that starts by knowing deep down that you are already everything you've been looking for. Take a breath, right now. Close your eyes for a second. Think about the version of yourself you were before life started telling you who to be. That version, the raw, untamed, unapologetic version of you. That one's still in, waiting for you to come back home. And maybe coming home doesn't look like a big revelation. Maybe it's a quiet moment at 2 a.m. where you realize you're okay. Maybe it's laughing by yourself in your kitchen with music on blast. Maybe it's waking up and not reaching for your phone, but just sitting there. No rush, no noise, just you. That's the secret people miss. The world tells you to go out and go find love, go chase dreams, go prove your worth. But what if I told you, you don't have to chase anything? What's meant for you will never miss you. And what you truly want, it doesn't live in someone else. It lives in you, right now. Already whole, already worthy, already enough. So don't wait for someone to come along and validate what's been true since day one. You are already whole. Now walk like it, live like it, love like it. And the world will have no choice but to reflect it right back to you. You ever sit with yourself long enough to realize just how far you've come? No, I'm not talking about the highlight reel. I'm not talking about the achievements people clap for. I'm talking about the quiet victories. The days you got out of bed when everything in you said stay down. The nights you wiped your own tears, looked up at the ceiling, and decided to try again tomorrow. That's self-love, and it's not loud. It doesn't show up in filters or status updates. It's quiet, steady, a choice you make every single day. See, self-love? That's a practice. Not a one-time decision. Not some trendy quote on a screen. It's a discipline. It's showing up for yourself when nobody else does. It's learning to hold space for your own heart. To say, I got me, and actually mean it. It's celebrating your growth, even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching. Because you've got to be your own biggest fan, your own rescue team, your own place of peace. Most people think love is only something you give away, that it's about how you treat others, how you show up for the people around you. But let me tell you something. If you don't learn how to show up for yourself, you'll pour out of an empty cup every time. You'll run on fumes, giving the best of yourself to everyone else, and saving nothing for your own soul. And eventually, that well runs dry. The smile fades, The energy dips, the joy feels forced, because you haven't filled yourself up first. So how do you love yourself? Really love yourself. Start with presence. Be there for yourself, not just physically. Be present. When you're hurting, don't rush to cover it up. Sit with it. Listen to what it's trying to teach you. When you're happy, don't brush it off like it's not worth celebrating. Let yourself smile wide. Let yourself laugh loud. Don't downplay your joy to make others comfortable. You've got to learn how to date your soul. I mean that. Treat yourself like someone you're trying to get to know. Ask yourself the deep questions. What makes you light up? What makes you feel seen? What triggers your insecurities? What are you still carrying that you should have let go of long ago? See, when you're in love with someone else, you learn everything about them. You remember the small things. You listen. You care. Now imagine doing that for you. Take yourself out sometimes. I don't care if it's just for coffee or a walk through the park. Make time for you. You don't need a dinner reservation with someone else to feel worthy of a good meal. You don't need an audience to enjoy a song that hits your soul. Some of the most healing, powerful moments you'll ever experience happen when it's just you, your breath, and the present moment. That's when the truth shows up. That's when healing begins. Start talking to yourself with love. And I know, that might sound strange at first, but pay attention to the way you speak to you. Would you say those same things to a child? Would you speak to your closest friend the way you speak to yourself in your lowest moments? That voice inside, it's shaping your reality. So make it make it compassionate, make it real. Celebrate your wins. Yes, even when nobody claps, even when there's no recognition, no trophy, no pat on the back. You did something today that the old you might have avoided. You made progress. You kept a promise to yourself. That matters. It counts. Stop waiting for others to validate your effort. Look in the mirror and say, well done, because you earned that. And on the days you slip, on the days when the voice in your head gets loud again, when the self-doubt creeps in, when you fall back into old habits, don't punish yourself. Don't tear yourself down. You're human. You're growing. And growth is not a straight line. It's a messy, beautiful, complicated process. What matters is that you come back, that you realign, that you don't let one bad day turn into a reason to quit on yourself. Love yourself in the hard moments too, especially then, when you feel like a mess, when nothing makes sense, when the world feels too loud. Wrap yourself in grace. Breathe deep. Slow down. Remind yourself that this feeling is not permanent. You've made it through worse. You're not broken. You're becoming. People will come and go. Some will love you deeply, and others will leave you wondering why you weren't enough. But you have to be the one who stays. No matter what, that's the deal. You stay. You choose yourself, again and again. Through the storm, through the silence, through the joy, through the pain. You learn to be your own home, your own shelter, your own light. And here's the most powerful part. When you start practicing self-love like that, you stop begging. You stop shrinking. You stop attaching your value to how someone else treats you. You walk differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself like someone who knows their worth. And that energy, that's magnetic. People feel it. They respect it. But more importantly, you feel it. You live in it. You become it. You start realizing that you don't have to chase love. You are love. You don't have to earn rest. You deserve rest. You don't have to be perfect to be proud of yourself. You just have to be present. Be honest. Be kind to your own reflection. So yeah, self-love is a practice, not something you master overnight. It's a decision you make when you wake up. It's the way you talk to yourself when things go wrong. It's the time you give yourself to breathe, to reflect, to grow. It's in the little things, the quiet moments, the deep breaths, the nights when you choose peace over chaos, the days when you choose boundaries over pleasing, the way you forgive yourself again and again. Because healing isn't linear, but it is possible. Keep showing up for you, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. You're not a project to fix. You're a masterpiece in motion. You don't need permission to love yourself. You just need to start. So go ahead, date your soul. Laugh when no one's around, and when you win, even if no one's clapping. You've been looking out there for something that was always in here, searching for the next big thing, the right relationship, the perfect job, a new city, maybe a little more money, a little more recognition, thinking if you just get that you'll finally feel happy. But let me break something to you gently, or not so gently. Happiness isn't out there. It never was. It doesn't live in a person's arms, or inside a paycheck. It doesn't wait for you in a fancy vacation, a new apartment, or another 100 likes on your post. Happiness is an inside job, and until you understand that, you'll spend your life chasing shadows. Now don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with having goals, nothing wrong with wanting love or working toward your dreams. But if your peace is always attached to the next thing, you're never really living, you're surviving.
Waiting.
Hoping that someday something or someone is going to walk in and finally hand you that permission slip to be happy. But here's the truth. They can't, and they won't. Because that permission, that comes from you. You gotta wake up one day and realize you've been carrying what you've been searching for. It's been there. Maybe buried beneath pain. Maybe hidden behind some scars. But it's there. Peace, joy, love, confidence, all of that starts from within. You could have the world and still feel empty. Or you could have very little and feel full to the brim. That's the difference between external validation and internal alignment. You see, when you make your happiness dependent on something outside of you, you give away your power. You become a puppet to circumstance. If people like you, you're up. If they don't, you're down. If you get the job, you smile. If it falls through, you collapse. If they stay, you feel worthy. If they leave, you question everything. That's not peace. That's instability wearing a mask. Real happiness, that's when you walk through a storm and still keep your head high. That's when you sit alone in a quiet room and feel whole, not hollow. That's when the world doesn't have to clap for you to know your own worth. That's when you stop needing life to go your way to still appreciate life itself. But let me be real with you. It takes work to get there. It takes honesty. It takes sitting with yourself, asking some tough questions. What am I chasing? Why do I think I need that to be okay? Who taught me that love only comes if I perform, if I prove, if I please? And am I willing to unlearn all that? Because let's be honest, some of us have been taught to earn happiness, as if joy is something we have to deserve. But it's not. You were born with it. The world just piled enough expectations, comparisons, and conditions on top of it that you forgot. But it's still there. Still in you. Still waiting on you to reclaim it. It's not in a title. Not in a spotlight. It's not in someone calling you beautiful or talented or successful. It's not in how many people love you. It's in how much you love yourself. It's in how you show up for yourself when no one else does. It's in the way you breathe when everything is quiet. The way you speak to yourself when you make a mistake. The way you forgive yourself and grow. You want to be truly happy. Then you've got to stop chasing and start choosing. Choose to see the beauty in ordinary moments. Choose to love yourself in your becoming. Choose to build a life you don't need a vacation from. Choose to create peace that doesn't rely on other people's behavior. Look around. People are searching, scrolling, running, buying, comparing. All of them trying to escape themselves. Trying to find something to fill the silence inside. But the ones who really glow, the ones who move through life like they've tapped into something deeper, those are the ones who stopped running. They looked inside. They got honest. They got still. They did the work. Because happiness isn't a destination. It's a decision. Every day. A decision to look at what you already have and say this is enough. A decision to look at who you already are and say I am enough. Not when you lose the weight. Not when you get the partner. Not when the world finally notices. But now, as you are. Imperfect. Growing. Becoming. You gotta ask yourself, am I living for applause or alignment? Because applause fades. But alignment, that lasts. That carries you through the days when nothing goes right. When the world is loud. When the road feels long. That's your anchor. When you find happiness within, life changes. People can walk out and you won't fall apart. Plans can fail. And you still have peace. You stop reacting to everything. You stop letting outside things dictate your inside world. You start responding from a place of strength, not desperation. You start living with clarity. And don't wait for the perfect moment to start. Don't wait for your life to look like a movie scene. Choose happiness today, in this breath, in this moment. Because this moment, it's all we're promised. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed. So why waste today being miserable? Because something didn't go your way. Happiness is in how you treat the barista, in how you thank your body for getting you through another day. It's in the music you play in your car, in the way you smile at strangers. It's in letting go of grudges, in forgiving yourself, in not needing to have it all figured out. It's in presence. It's in gratitude. It's in you. So take your power back. Take your joy back. Don't let life's ups and downs decide how you feel. Build a foundation inside that can't be shaken. A peace that doesn't waver when storms come. Because at the end of the day, happiness isn't hidden in the future. It's found in your mindset. It's found in your heart. And it starts the moment you choose it. ChatGPT said you spend so much of your life chasing love, chasing approval, chasing anything that makes you feel like you matter. You move from one person to the next, one distraction to another, thinking maybe the next thing will fix the emptiness. Maybe the next hand you hold, the next text you get, the next I love you will finally make you feel enough. But what if I told you that everything you've been chasing was never the answer? What if I told you that the real breakthrough happens when you learn to sit with yourself, to stand in your own presence, and feel full? See, when you master being happy alone, the world starts to move differently around you. Not because it's changing, but because you are. When you stop reaching for people to fill your silence, when you stop fearing the stillness, that's when you realize peace has been waiting for you all along. It's been whispering under all that noise, buried under all that anxiety, hidden behind all those I need someone moments. But peace doesn't chase, it waits. And it waits for you to slow down, turn inward, and choose yourself. Being alone isn't lonely. That's a lie we've been fed by people who fear their own reflection. Being alone is powerful. It's where you meet your truest self. The version that isn't performing, isn't pleasing, isn't bending to fit into someone else's idea of love. It's where you hear your own thoughts clearly, where you learn what makes you laugh, what makes your soul light up, what triggers your wounds, what soothes your spirit. Most people skip that part. They avoid it. They're afraid of what they'll find if they sit in the quiet too long. But if you can get through that silence, if you can face what's been hiding in there, you'll come out the other side with a strength that can't be shaken. And here's the beautiful part. When you stop looking for someone to fix you, you stop attracting people who benefit from your brokenness. Read that again. When you stop showing up with empty hands and wide eyes, waiting to be chosen, you start attracting people who respect your wholeness, not those who feed off your lack. You won't attract what you need. You'll attract what aligns. Because need is desperation, and alignment is peace. When you're needy, you'll take whatever shows up, even if it hurts you, even if it drains you, even if it makes you question your worth every day. You'll stay because you think love is supposed to hurt. You'll compromise your values, your voice, your vision, just to keep someone from leaving. But when you're whole, when you're rooted in who you are, you don't beg, you don't chase, you don't shrink. You choose, you see clearly, you feel deeply, and you move differently. You know how magnetic it is when someone knows how to be by themselves and still radiates light. That energy, it's undeniable, because people can feel it. They can feel when you're showing up because you want to, not because you need to. They can feel when your love is coming from overflow, not from a wound. And that kind of love, it changes the game. It's no longer about completing each other. It's about expanding each other. But let's not pretend this is easy. No, it takes time. It takes intention. It takes a lot of nights where you have to remind yourself that solitude is not punishment. It's preparation. It's you learning to be enough for yourself. It's you realizing that your value was never tied to who stayed or who left. It's you standing in the mirror, looking at all the parts of you that used to make you feel unlovable, and saying, I'm still worthy. You start doing things for yourself, not to impress, not to post about, but because you want to. You take yourself to breakfast. You go on walks just to breathe. You light candles at night, not because someone's coming over, but because you deserve to feel peace in your own space. You start creating joy, not consuming it. And slowly but surely your energy shifts. The people who used to drain you don't excite you anymore. The drama you used to chase starts to feel heavy. You outgrow conversations that go nowhere. You stop proving, you just be. And when you're in that space, when you're grounded in yourself, when your joy isn't conditional, that's when alignment finds you. That's when the right people walk in, not perfect people, not saviors, but people who see you, who meet you at your level, who don't need you to be less so they can feel more. And the crazy part, you're not desperate for it anymore. You're not attached to the outcome, because you already have what matters. You, your peace, your clarity, your wholeness. Love, that's born out of loneliness, is fragile. But love that grows out of fullness, that's unshakable. You don't fear losing it because it doesn't define you. It complements you. It adds to what's already there. And that's the love worth waiting for. But even if it doesn't come tomorrow, even if you're walking this road solo for a while longer, let me tell you something. You're not behind. You're not missing out. You're not broken. You're becoming. And that becoming, it's beautiful. It's sacred. It's powerful. So sit with yourself. Eat with yourself. Laugh with yourself. Be so good to yourself that when someone shows up, they have to match that energy just to get close. Don't lower your standards just to feel wanted. Don't water yourself down just to be digestible. You weren't meant to be everyone's cup of tea. You're the whole ocean. The world will try to make you feel like being alone is a flaw. But the truth is, it's a gift. It's your chance to build a foundation so strong that no one can take it from you. And when you've got that, when your peace comes from within, your worth is unshakable, and your joy is self-made. Nothing, and I mean nothing, can break you. So walk like you know who you are. Stand like you've already won. Smile like you're in love with your own soul. And trust that the people who are meant to walk with you on this journey, they'll find you. Not because you chased them, but because you aligned with them. And that's where the real magic begins.